Hello and Minglaba, welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Some updates on COVID-19 cases in Myanmar. There's been 155 total confirmed cases till Sunday. Townships and places under lockdown in Yangon, and we're going to find out the foreign visitors' statistics and updates on Shwedagon pagoda. Passengers of distant places prefer choosing express trains to highway buses amid COVID-19 infection. And a story coverage on highway bus routes restarting to permitted regions and states. All of that coming up later on Myanmar Today, but for now let's take a look at what's happening in local news. State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi wrote on her Facebook page on Sunday that we should not let our guard down just because COVID-19 has been quiet for 1 or 2 days, and that situation, when we could all feel secure, was still far off. She also added that we should all strictly follow the instructions contained in the educational directives. This was what she wrote. It is now 2 weeks since we issued stay-at-home orders for some townships in the Yangon region. During this time, there were also some additional townships where stay-at-home orders had to be issued. We will have to make a decision on what should be done in the future based on the results of this program. Although we could say that COVID-19 is something we have not encountered before, all of us have encountered problems before. The main thing we need in solving problems is to be able to assess the situation correctly. That's the element of wisdom. During the course of this month, we have seen the progress of our understanding and knowledge in the areas of health and economics relating to COVID-19. All that is needed from us is to have the ability to learn fast. Please strictly follow COVID-19 instructions. Don't let your guard down just because COVID-19 has been quiet for the past 1 or 2 days. The situation where we can all feel secure is still far off. She concluded the message by writing, "Protect and practice to perfection with intense mindfulness." To prevent the spread of the global pandemic coronavirus disease, the Ministry of Health and Sports issued directives and guidelines for factories and businesses to open during the spread of the virus. The Ministry of Labour, Immigration and Population issued a statement on 19th of April that factories and businesses can only reopen after being checked by the Ministry of Health and Sports, Ministry of Labour, Immigration and Population, and a joint expert group between 20th of April to 30th of April, and received their results and recommendations. These businesses and services can continue to open by amending to the Ministry of Health and Sports directives on COVID-19 protection and containment processes. After doing so, evidence of having done so should be prepared for the Ministry of Labour, Immigration and Population and the Ministry of Health and Sports and joint groups for inspection. The National Health Laboratory in Yangon issued a report on Sunday evening on 63 lab specimens by NHL and 60 lab specimens from the Department of Medical Research. The results showed that 4 lab specimens tested positive for COVID-19. There have been 155 COVID-19 positive results in Myanmar as of 8 p.m. on Sunday. Out of the old confirmed cases up to Sunday, 43 of them tested no longer having the virus after 2 rounds of re-examinations, and 29 of them have been discharged from hospitals, and they are under quarantine. 6 COVID-19 positive persons have died. The remaining 120 people who have been tested positive with COVID-19 are receiving medical treatment in hospitals, and 2 positive persons are under intensive care. There have been 72 new people under surveillance between Saturday noon and Sunday noon. That's over the local news. Let's take a look at the first report now. After 2 consecutive days without new confirmed cases of COVID-19, the Ministry of Health and Sports announced 4 new cases on Sunday night, which leads to the total number of confirmed cases to 155. Till Sunday, there have been only 6 cases of deaths, 43 recovered patients, including 29 discharged from hospitals. Thoras Wizin and Zueman have more on the story.
Till the morning of 3rd May, no new confirmed cases of COVID-19 have been found for 2 consecutive days, and the confirmed cases in Myanmar reached 155 at the night of 3rd May, with 4 new cases announced. The total deceased cases were 6, including 1 recent new death on 29 April. 43 patients have been identified as recovered cases, and 29 have already been discharged from the hospital. Out of the patients of recovery, the 2 are the elders of over 60 years old. The restrictions on the precautionary measures against COVID-19 were extended to be in effect till 15 May. Factories and workshops are reoperating with the approval of inspection team led by the Ministry of Health and Sports. On 25th April, one positive patient found out to be the translator of one of the factories in Kleinthaya Township in Yangon. Till now, no positive cases have come out from the workforce related to that translator of the factory. Some of the highway-based lines are now preparing to resume runs following restricted health safety provisions. The decision on the reopening of schools and universities, which normally open in June, may be made depending on the situation beyond 15 May.
Some people tend to be careless since there are no positive cases for 2 days. This is not the time to be incautious. We have to consider the fact that there may be more contact persons with 151 confirmed patients. It is important to practice social distancing, wear masks, and wash hands. When wearing the masks, although many people tend to wear more than before, some are wearing in wrong ways, so they cannot avoid touching the outer surface of the masks. To raise more awareness, the people in charge of ground-level management are taking responsibility.
At the beginning stage of the crisis in Myanmar, the price of the mask and hand sanitizers were increased and there was shortage in the market. But now the price is quite reduced and the available market is getting better than before.
We can contain the spread of the virus if every person does not fail to wear masks and wash hands. If you wear masks, we can reduce the possibility of virus infection through mouth and nose. It cannot give 100% coverage, but we can reduce the risks of infection. To raise the awareness, the governors, departmental staffs, and the volunteers should join together. Moreover, now many hand-washing basins are available in every street and road. You should be aware when you are getting outside and touching the areas with more possibility of infection, such as cars, doors, and handles in buses. You can use hand sanitizer if water is not easily accessible. It is better if you wear gloves.
The government has not yet announced the date to lift the order of semi-lockdown of the townships in Yangon, but the streets where the confirmed patients are found are under high restrictions and they are guarded by the volunteers of the township. In Yangon, fever clinics are opened for the prior treatment of the symptoms similar to that of COVID-19 and to reduce the possible patients going to other clinics. A few numbers of confirmed cases are found out among the patients who are receiving treatment in fever clinics. In May, overseas workers from other foreign countries, especially from Thailand and Malaysia, are coming back. According to State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi, the number of the returning migrant workers can reach up to hundreds of thousands. They are to be quarantined in their respective hometowns. During over 40 days since the first day of confirmed cases found in Myanmar, there are total 155 confirmed cases, including 43 recovered and 6 deceased cases. The first confirmed patient, the case 01, has already been discharged from the hospital on 30 April. That's all for now. This is Thora Swisin from MI Radio.
That's some updates on COVID-19 cases in Myanmar. There's been 155 total confirmed cases till Sunday. With the purpose to inform the regular foreign visitors statistics, updates and improvement and measures regarding the current circumstances and the prevention measures relating to the issues of COVID-19 on Shwedagon pagoda. Our reporter David Tanner interviewed Uye Aonai, head officer of the Board of Trustee Office. Here's the report.
Shwedagon pagoda is the most sacred and impressive Buddhist site for the people of Myanmar. Shwedagon pagoda is a repository of the best in Myanmar heritage, architecture, sculpture, and arts. The Shwedagon pagoda consists hundreds of colorful temples, stupas, and statues that reflect the architectural era spanning almost 2,500 years. With that said, I have interviewed with Uye Aonai, head officer of the Board of Trustees Office, for the current situation of tourist arrivals and cautious measures regarding COVID-19.
These days, we have been operating the Shwedagon pagoda with minimum workforce and keep the pagoda running and keep it secured and sanitized as much as possible. The pagoda has been closed starting from Tianjin holidays until this situation of COVID-19 issues calms down, expecting the green light from Ministry of Health and Sports. So there have been no locals as well as foreign visitors for now, as it is to be expected. People mostly come to the pagoda for merits and good deeds, but I would like to inform people that we could get merits by following the way of Buddha teachings. If we were to open the gates of Shwedagon pagoda at the time of this circumstance, it might become an area to transmit the virus.
Wu Ye-ao-nai will also tell us his perspective on what the situation of tourism sector will be on Shwedagon pagoda and the feedbacks regarding the closure of Shwedagon pagoda for a long time for the first time in history.
Frankly, as the news from the European countries has been affected by the issues in a way bigger scale, I am guessing here that foreigners from those areas might not be able to visit the pagoda even after Shwedagon's reopening. In my perspective, the neighboring countries might be eager to come and pay a visit to the pagoda for the religious purposes after all the issues have been recovered and become normal. The feedbacks regarding the closure of pagoda has been positive in the sense of preventing and being further cautious.
I have also interviewed two of the foreign visitors before the quarantine period for their opinion on Shwedagon pagoda and their feelings. Firstly, let's hear the inner perspective of Simon from Germany.
Hi, I'm Simon. I'm from Germany, traveling around the world, and I'm here in Myanmar just for 1 day.
I see. So it's your first time here in Myanmar?
Yeah, it's my first time.
So how do you feel about Shwedagon pagoda?
It's beautiful. I like the atmosphere around here. It's a very unique place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what will be the unique parts of Shwedagon pagoda that you think of?
Yeah, I think it's all about the colors, the gold, the atmosphere during sunset is, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's a huge place. We've been here for some hours, walking around and enjoying all the different parts of the pagoda, and we have been just sitting here and looking at the pagoda. When we came here earlier, it was just a few people, but now it's getting more. It's getting more, and yeah.
So, will you recommend to other people to Shwedagon pagoda?
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's a most unique and the most beautiful point in Yangon, and I would definitely recommend. Yeah.
Miss Andrea from Germany will also express her opinion.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andrea from Cologne, Germany, and I'm on a world trip and now in Southeast Asia, and I'm 29 years old.
I see. So how do you feel about Shwedagon pagoda and your perspective about the pagoda?
It's amazing. It's really huge, and there are a lot of details, and I don't know where to look because there's so much to see and so many details. Yeah, it's really colorful and a lot of gold parts, and really the details are stunning.
So what is your expectation versus reality?
It's much better than I expected. I expected it really good, but it's bigger and more colors. Yeah, really beautiful.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on foreign visitors, statistics, and updates on Shwedagon pagoda. Stay with us. We're going to bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Passengers of distant places preferred express trains to highway buses as they travel long distances since the start of the coronavirus outbreak in Myanmar. The highway bus service is currently stopped until the end of April. According to the order not to go out from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., Myanmar Railways had to reschedule train services for the sake of the convenience of the travelling people. Therefore, the train service has become a reliable means of transport. Sueman and Minton have more on the story.
The passengers of distant places have preferred choosing express train to highway bus as they travel long distance since the start of the coronavirus outbreak in Myanmar. The highway bus service is currently being stopped until the end of April. According to the order not to go out from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., Myanmar Railways had to reschedule train services for the sake of convenience of the traveling people. Therefore, the train service has become a reliable means of transport. The traveling people take more express trains, but there has been a sharp increase in the number of circular train passengers. For that reason, Myanmar Railways had to reduce number of circular runs scheduled from the days just before Dinjan until the end of April. The circular trains are providing 2 runs each of clockwise and anti-clockwise, centering Yangon Central Railway Station. The train service has not totally been stopped. Uzolwen, manager of number 7 Traffic Division of Myanmar Railways, said.
Yangon Central Railway Station is the hub of Myanmar Railways. The passengers who are returning to their native places across the countries have to come to Yangon Central Railway Station to make their return journey. Myanmar Railways is taking precautionary measures against COVID-19 and necessary inspections are being carried out as to the health condition of the passengers who are taking the trains at Yangon Railway Station. Hand wash tanks are being currently set up on the express trains number 5 up train and number 6 down train running Yangon to Mandalay. Hand wash tanks and soap oil are also arranged for number 71 up train and number 72 down train from Yangon to Pie. The remaining trains are also underway.
Moreover, Myanmar Railways set up 2 hand wash basins on number 1 platform of Yangon Central Railway Station on March 15th. Test kits were brought on March 18th. Hand wash basins were set up on number 6 platform and number 7 platform on March 25th. Measures to avoid the mass of the people at the station are being carried out. Myanmar Railways make all the passengers have the body temperature tested and wash their hands at the station. At the initial stage of the preventative measures, Parahita named as White Joining Hands comprising station clerks was formed. Later, with the assistance of the Yangon Regional Government and Dokinji Foundation, Myanmar Railways keep on carrying out precautionary measures against the virus. Myan Kai, Deputy Assistant Supervisor of Ticket Division of Myanmar Railways, said.
We are undertaking the measures of testing body temperature of the passengers according to work shift plan from 8 a.m. of today to 8 a.m. of next day. 2 staffs have to take charge of that work and they are working all day except for taking a break for lunch. They are making checks on every passenger coming to the station, including night train. We have to immediately inform the in charge and the health department as well if the passenger with 38 degrees Fahrenheit and above is found. We have to follow the health guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health and Sports.
There are about 3,500 express train passengers a day at Yangon Central Railway Station. Even the previous passengers of the highway bus are now choosing to take express trains. Mandalay Railway Station is now instructing the passengers from Yangon to be sent to the quarantine centers to stay there for 21 days. Therefore, some passengers are returning to Yangon by Yangon Express train without entering Mandalay. Do Yi Cho, a train passenger, said.
I am to go to Molamyang from Shwedagon. I think that setting up hand wash basins is to prevent the passengers from being infected with the coronavirus. I am worried about this virus very much. I used to take trains when I travel. Going by train is slower than going by car, and the latter can reach the destination in time. But going by train can save travel cost and can provide comfort. That's why I usually go by train. I think rail transport will be better as Myanmar Railways is upgrading related facilities of the railway.
The donors set up hand wash tanks on Gambe and Ansan circular railway stations.
Well, let's move on to the last report before we go to international news. The government has extended its stay-home period to next 2 weeks, imposing a ban on gatherings of more than 5 people across the country in an effort to continue taking preventive measures against the spread of COVID-19. Looking at the consequences of the situation like this, highway bus routes have temporarily stopped their services from 6th of April to the extended date. But some of the bus routes at Almingla, Dagong Aya, and Dalat have now started running normally. Pyo Tiwitu and Yenai will tell us more.
The government has extended its stay-home period to next 2 weeks, imposing a ban on gatherings of 5 and above across the country in an effort to continue taking preventive measures against the spread of COVID-19. Among the respective states and regions, including Yangon and Mandalay, the most populous regions, have also imposed local order and travel ban not to carry more than 7 passengers within their areas since the first week of April. In consequences of the situation like this, highway bus routes have temporarily stopped. They are running from 6th April to the extended date. But some of the bus routes at Almingla, Dagong Aya, and Dalat have now started its running normally. Unemyo is the responsible officer of Shwedagon Express in Almingla. He said some highway bus lines start its running to the regions and states, which are still free from travel ban, but most of them are waiting the government official statement. Unemyo, officer of Shwedagon Express, said,
Okay, ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတော့ဒီ April လ 6 ရက်နေ့ကနေစပြီးတော့ကျင်းလိုက်တော့ကျွန်တော်သွားတဲ့ဖွက်တဲ့ကျင်းလိုက်တော့ကျွန်တော်ကနားထားတာပေါ့လေ။အဲ့ကနေစပြီးတော့မှအခုချိန်ပြီးပါပြီ။ပြီးတဲ့15နောက်ပိုင်းမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ပြန်လဲဆွဲဖို့တော့အစီအစဉ်တော့ဆွဲရပါတယ်ဗျ။
Not only Shwedagon but also other express routes has shut down its running since the evening of 6th April. All the highway bus routes in Almingla Gate are not accessible to travel to Mandalay and Sagai. But some routes are still running to the states and regions like Mon State, which is still allowed for traveling. According to the statement of the current government, we plan to start running to these regions after 15th May generally. As soon as our operation starts, the ticket fees for passengers who bought the ticket from 7th to 12th April will be refunded. But till now, all the staff are also at home and we have still stopped all of our operation. If the government extends the prohibition period, we're gonna keep on shutting down running the highway bus routes. As our Shwedagon Express, we are providing full salaries to the staff with grants included.
Yangon Region Transport Authority Joint Secretary Ulaa told Myanmar Radio about the updated information on the rents of highway bus route. Ulaa, Joint Secretary of Yangon Region Transport Authority, said,
ကျွန်တော်တို့ရန်ကုန်ကြောက်ကြီးထွက်တဲ့အန်တီဝင်းနေလိုင်းကအောင်မင်္ဂလာထွက်တယ်လို့ရန်ကုန်တောင်ကြီးကတော့ဒုညီနောင်ဆိုတဲ့ရလိုင်းထွက်တယ်
The highway bus routes from Almingla run from Yangon to Chaopyu. Donyinao bus line also runs from Yangon to Taungji. Kabajo bus line also runs from Yangon to Bago. 3 bus lines also run from Dalat to Pyabo. Mandalamin has also started its running from Yangon to Molamiang routes. This is the updated information about the runs of highway bus route. Although the YRTA doesn't suspend the traffic of the highway bus routes, some regions are still limiting traffic restrictions to the respective regions and states. But for some routes, few passengers are taking their buses, so they can't afford the running normally. The highways will also be able to operate only if traffic returns to normal in the states regularly.
I am Pyo Diridu. This is news reporting from MI Radio.
And that's all we have for today's reports. Let's check on some international news now. Yonhap News Agency reported multiple gunshots fired from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea have hit a Republic of Korea guard post inside the demilitarized zone. According to the ROK's Joint Chiefs of Staff, the incident took place in Shwedagon, the central section of the inter-Korean border in Gangwon province, at around 7:41 a.m. on Sunday. The ROK responded by firing 2 shots toward the DPRK and issued broadcast warnings, the JCS said in the release, adding that no casualties or damage to ROK facilities were reported. Chinese President Xi Jinping on Sunday extended greetings to young Chinese people of all ethnic groups, calling on the whole society to care for and support the youth. President Xi also encouraged the young Chinese to hold firm conviction and develop genuine skills to devote themselves to the great cause of building a great nation. The president hailed the youth's active participation and brave spirits in the fight against COVID-19, saying their behavior shows the spirit of responsibility of the contemporary Chinese youth. There has been speculation that the coronavirus was leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, but an American researcher who worked with the lab has explained why she thinks this theory is highly unlikely.
Donna Massett is an epidemiologist at the University of California. She worked and trained with scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and she told Business Insider there are 4 reasons why she thinks the coronavirus outbreak was no lab accident. 1. Samples from the lab did not match the new coronavirus. After sequencing the virus, Massett says Wuhan scientists checked records from the last few years, cross-referencing the new genome with other coronavirus samples they had collected, but they did not find a match. Reason 2 has to do with what Massett describes as very stringent safety protocols. Massett worked with Wuhan researchers as part of PREDICT, a US pandemic warning program. She says scientists wear multiple layers of gloves, eye protection, full body suits and masks. All samples are frozen with liquid nitrogen as soon as they enter the lab, and researchers only interact with samples that are deactivated and non-infectious. Massett's 3rd reason looks at the number of viruses that have jumped from animals to humans in recent decades. She says the coronavirus is the 7th virus to have crossed over from another species. Ebola and SARS, for example, also originated in bats. H1N1 started in pigs. Massett says 3 out of every 4 emerging infectious diseases are these so-called zoonotic diseases. Last but not least, Massett says scientists like those in Wuhan would navigate caves in full PPE. She says it's more likely that everyday people like tourists and hunters entered these places less protected and were exposed. In fact, research has shown between 1 to 7 million people may be exposed to zoonotic viruses in Southeast Asia every year.
In other news, Cornelia Leisch has been teaching laughter wellness for over 15 years. From a local Munich park, she has now taken her sessions online to help people struggling with stringent COVID-19 lockdown measures in Germany. On World Laughter Day, an annual event celebrated to raise awareness about the many healing benefits of laughter, Leisch explained more about the exercise.
Laughter wellness is a structure of different kinds of exercises in a certain combination that keeps your spirits high, it lifts up your mood and your energy, and you feel well at the end. Depressive people are coming and trying to change something in their life. And it works. We feel connected. Even if you look into the mirror of your laptop, you feel the other people. You have 20 people laughing in your home. And this is great.
I felt a bit awful in the beginning because my day was not the best day, but now in the end I'm smiling, I'm laughing, and I'm feeling so good.
You decide how you want to feel, and you're not dependent on the circumstances. If you decide to laugh, do it, and then you will feel better, because you can't feel miserable and laughing at the same time.
US Republicans and Democrats alike are shifting their tone on China. The latest political ads from both sides are taking a hard line on Beijing. The video shows how the rhetoric has changed. Take a look.
They're working really hard, and I think they're doing a very professional job.
This was Trump's message just a few months ago. Since then, the sentiment has changed.
They didn't report what was happening inside of China.
We're doing very serious investigations, as you probably know, and we are not happy with China. It came out of China, and it could have been stopped.
Earlier this week, US media outlet Politico reported a memo had been sent out to Republicans. The message, stop defending Trump, start attacking China. And then came ads like this one.
Joe Biden on China.
It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper.
What a beautiful history.
Trump calling his opponent Beijing Biden and even launching a website to accuse him of having secretive motives and a weak stance on China. Biden launched this counter ad.
Trump never got a CDC team on the ground in China.
I would be on the phone with China and making it clear, we are going to need to be in your country.
Donald Trump left this country unprepared and unprotected, and now we're paying the price.
Asian Americans have slammed the rhetoric. One took to Twitter to criticize Biden for trying to out-Trump Trump. But distrust in China has grown amongst Americans on both sides of the political aisle. A poll from just a month ago showed 78% of Republicans and 66% of Democrats said they did not trust China's reporting. The Harris poll also revealed over 3/4 of Republican voters blame China for the spread of the virus in the US. Less than a quarter thought the Trump administration was to blame. With an election looming, both sides are taking advantage of the high levels of distrust, undermining months of work on a trade deal and decades of friendly relations just 6 months ahead of the election.
Well, that's all we have for now. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zinn. Wherever you are, please stay home, stay safe, and have a little fun at home as well. I'll see you again. Goodbye.